everyone, Kim here with Abundant Life Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. We are doing a deck review, and this is a little different. It's not going to be an unboxing. This is where I actually have had a chance to work with the deck. I took copious notes of, and I mean double-sided notes, of all the things I want to chat with you all about in this video. And we are discussing today the Clarity Tarot. This is published by Red Feather, which is a subsidiary of Schiffer Publishing. And the creator is Deborah Zakow. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. And the artist is Kate Matthews. So yeah, I can't wait to share with you about this deck. Now I have to say and disclaim that this deck was sent to me in exchange for an honest review, and that's what you're going to get today, is an honest review of this deck. Now I will also say that I have been in the market for a new tarot deck, and let me tell you why. Let me show you why. So many of you who've watched my channel and know me pretty well on here, you know that my favorite working deck is the Light Seers. This is like my third copy, the mass market. I have the actual first edition indie version of this deck, but I like to use this in my client readings, and it's super bent up and banged up, and so I was in the market for a deck, so this came at an opportune time. And I also have another deck I always keep on my reading table, which is this RWS with keywords, and it too is super banged up. And you're going to understand in a minute why I'm mentioning these two decks in relation to talking about this deck in a review. And that's because, I'll just give you a little preview, is that this deck, the reason why I love it so much is it's got correspondences on here, yes and no up here in the corner. It even has reverse and upright meanings, so I do love using this, especially on hotline readings. So you'll understand in a minute why I'm mentioning all of this in preparation for discussing this new deck. So if you are curious to know more about the Clarity Tarot, please stay tuned. Okay, let's get to our close-up review of this deck. So we've got a nice, hard, sturdy box, and I really do enjoy how sturdy it is. I love how it's more compact. Past red Schiffer decks have come in these monstrous boxes, and so this is a nice change for them. Okay, so if you take this off, you have this lid here. Okay, again, very sturdy. Now again, this deck has already been flipped through and shuffled, but I did put the cards back in order for this video. And it had one of those plastic slips, you know, the little plastic little band to keep the cards intact. So that's what was holding the cards together, okay? Then we have this gorgeous, thick guidebook. I went through and made a ton of notes, and we'll be talking about this guidebook and some highlights that I want to share with you in a moment. But I'm always here for a very thick guidebook, and really honestly, it is one of my favorite parts of this this deck, this what do you call it, set, this deck set. The creator did an excellent job writing this book, and it has some nice little bits that aren't always included in guidebooks that I think that we need to discuss today. All right, we'll stick that to the side here. So let's take a look here. We have the backs, and it is gold gilding Now I will say I have started using this deck, and there is starting to show some wear already after maybe about 10 shuffles, like 10 uses, that there's wear on the gold gilding. But you know, this is a mass market deck. I know that is to be expected, and yeah, so there's that. Just have to let you know that. Now, another thing about this deck is that I noticed people on Amazon were complaining that it was starting to bow, you know, when you especially if you're a riffle shuffler like me. Now the stock is such that it's very bendable, so I was able to bend the bow back out. I didn't really have that problem, but I could see how some people who are very particular, they may not like the bowing that starts to happen over time. But I see that in many a deck. So, and I have a lot of decks, as many of you know. So it's, again, I'm just with full transparency here about the deck. Now let's look at the cardstock for a moment. It is very bendable. Now, I appreciate this. Some people would not. They would say it's too flimsy for them, and they don't like that. But for me, because I'm riffle shuffling and I overhand shuffle, and that's part of my reading style, it's important and imperative that I have cardstock that is very, very flexible. All right, so just to kind of give you an idea of how flexible it is. Some people probably would complain about how thin the cardstock is, but it's not a problem for me. Here are the card backs. It is reversible. Okay. So as we go through the cards, I'm going to show you some things about what happened with the publisher, I'm assuming, when this deck was being pressed and made. So you will be aware of it. And yeah, let's get to it. Let's flip through the cards. And then we'll discuss afterwards the guidebook. You don't want to miss that part, because there's a lot of good details in that guidebook that you've got to hear about. Okay, I'm just going to stick it off to the side here. All right, let's get started. Here is the Fool. Now, let's talk about what's on the card. Up here, you'll notice that there is a letter, and it's Y for yes. Y for yes, and Fool. And then we have a love meaning and a money meaning, like, you know, keywords. Now, some people might not appreciate that. They may say that is problematic for me. I want to make sure to have my own keywords, and I don't want anything on the card. Whereas for me, I actually don't mind the keywords. I enjoy them. I know the tarot so much and so well that even if meanings that come up intuitively are different than what's shown here, I can explain that to the client, like, okay, here's one of many of the meanings associated with this card, but you know, we can discuss that. So love, I'm not going to go through all of the different ones, by the way, but we'll just look at the Fool. It says love, new love or deepening of a relationship. Money, new job, spend wisely, novice. For me, I know that the Fool card could mean taking a leap, taking a risk, leaping into the unknown and not fully knowing what all the risks are, okay? It is an exciting new beginning. Sometimes it could be foolhardy. Now, I do appreciate the Y for yes. The only thing well, first of all, I will say this. I'm glad that it's inobtrusive up here. It's just a little Y, and it doesn't say yes or no. And I actually really love having tarot cards that has yes or no labels. But all of the majors have yes on them. And for me, I personally have associated yes, no, and maybe to all 78 cards. So that doesn't always jive. The Y up here doesn't always jive with my own interpretation of yes, no, or maybe on a card, okay? So that's just something to be mindful of. Again, you could read with this deck and not ever mention this, and it'd be completely fine. It's all a part of the design. Or you could say, you know what, I'm going to rely on this today, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be further confirmation of a yes for a client, for example. So I just wanted to give you a lay of what is on the card here before we go through and take a look at the images here. We've got the cute little dog, and then this gentleman with the little 4-leaf clover, an umbrella, and sitting here on over a cityscape, it looks like. You know, when you're on those big, what do you call them? I don't want to, like, it's not a crane. It's not. You know, when you have the scaffolding, maybe sitting on scaffolding on a tall skyscraper, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, here is the full card. And like I said, I'm not going to go through every single card. I just wanted to kind of give you the lay here of what's going on with the card. All right. Magician. And you'll notice the why. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is that my old beat up keyword RWS deck, it has yes, no, and maybe. This one only has yes and no, and the majors also are yes, no, and maybe as well. So that jives a bit more with my reading style of how I work with yes and no and maybe answers to the tarot. But that doesn't mean that I take issue with it. It's just something to note. Here's the High Priestess, the Empress. I love the vivid colors. What I also really appreciate is that this deck creator, Deborah, she is someone who works in the hotlines too, and she talks about that in her guidebook, and she talks about the different ways to use tarot, and it was just really refreshing to have someone celebrate that work, because, you know, a lot of people think they can be above that work, but really and truly we're doing spiritual heavy lifting with hotline work, to be honest. It's one of the many ways I deliver tarot readings. I do still have private clients that come through all the time through my website and my Etsy shop. Lovers. I love how it, you know, it's a coupling and you don't see man or woman, you just see two hands coming together. Cherry blossoms here. We've got the angel. Lovers, meaning love, mutual caring and attraction, although we also know that love is also about choice, choosing something, right? Having a choice before you. Could represent soulmate connections too. Money, combined resources, collaborations, partnership, right? Okay. Chariot. Strength. Hermit. It's a beautiful hermit. Wheel of Fortune. Justice. Hanged Man. Again, you know, if you know the key meanings, if you see something on here that doesn't jive with your key meaning, or you see something else, add to it. Don't feel like you have to be limited to what's on the card. Let that be a building block to other key meanings for you. That's how I work with decks with key meanings on the cards or full text on the cards, right? Death. Temperance. I like that that it's not super glossy. I like that as well. That, yeah. Devil. I do appreciate this Devil card. I love that there's two people, you know, bound in a cage. Here's the Tower. I also appreciate the Tower as well. The Star. I'm always looking at the star in terms, because A, I'm an Aquarius, and B, the star is one of those cards and I'm like, okay, do I really want this deck? Do I not? What's the deal breaker? Well, usually the star is one of those deal breaker cards. I'm in love with the moon card. I love the coloring of the sky. I love the beautiful moon faces. You see the two dogs, a little dark and light. Yeah. You see the crab, but I like the little bridge. You see the pillars here. There's the pillars. We've got the sun. Isn't she cute? Super cute. Judgment. And really, honestly, I kind of wish that they would have added a few more keywords, like bumped the, the title up a bit more up here, and then used more of the space to have more keywords. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I like how they used the different symbols too. I thought that was cool. Now we're going into the cups, and from what I recall when I first got this deck, I think this is how she had it set up. I could be wrong, where she had the key, like the quartz, and then it went down into the minors, okay, to the numbered cards. So we have the King of Cups, Queen of Cups. Love her so much. Oh my goodness. Isn't she pretty? I love her gray hair and her face, her gorgeous eyes, and oh, I love it. It says kind, romantic woman, money, talented, helping woman. Okay. Knight of Cups. Page of Cups. Oh, so adorable. We've got the Ace. Ace of Cups. Two of Cups. Three of Cups. Four of Cups. Good, very, very good. Four of Cups, I like that. You see the person here being a little bit despondent. There's one cup up there, 4 cups down here. Okay. Five of Cups, another beautiful depiction of the Five of Cups. Aw, Six of Cups is adorable. I'm really loving the art. I know it's not probably going to be to everyone's taste, but I really enjoy it. Seven of Cups. And you know what's interesting? I think that Red Feather's really, really trying to listen to their customers, and they are trying very hard to create decks that are, useful and user-friendly, if you will. We've complained for years about the different card stocks they've had. They've had glossy, super large cards at one point, super big boxes, and I see them trying. I see them, and now not so thick card stock. Are they going to get it right all the time? No. And even with the first batch printing, there may be issues, but over time they refine with each edition that they're printing. It gets better and better. That's been my experience. I'm going to show you here, when I first got the deck, there were these little marks here. You can barely see it. I'm not one that really cares about that because I'm kind of rough on my decks anyway, but some people are very particular. They want their decks pristine when they come out of the box. So I just wanted to show you that. Eight of Cups. Oh, I really like that Eight of Cups. That's another card that's important to me. We've got, look at her, Nine of Cups. Isn't she gorgeous? 10 of Cups. I couldn't wait to do this video for you all, but I wanted to make sure I've gotten some use out of this deck first before I did reading, like not before I did a reading, but before I actually discussed it in a review. That's the King of Wands. Queen of Wands. I thought she looked like, what's her name? The actress Zoe Saldana? I think that's her name. That's her name? Zoe? She favors her. Knight of Wands. Page of Wands. I love that youthful look on that page. Here's the Ace. I literally was in the market for a new deck, and I buy multiple decks, working decks, and this one just happened. It just was serendipitous that this creator was offering decks for a review, and I was like, oh, it's what I want. I want a deck with a few keywords on there, expressive, action oriented, preferably for the main figures in the card, and I really like that. We have Three of Wands, so it was like, yes, I will review it. Beautiful Four of Wands. Five of Wands, yes. Bickering, let go of ego. I like that little bit of guidance she offers there, the creator. And then money, tensions at work, gossip. I love that. And I love another keyword to Five of Wands is petty. But bickering for sure. Competition at work, right? That's another one. Six of Wands. Seven of Wands. Trying to get her in focus. Get in focus, my friend. Okay. Eight of Wands. Nine of Wands. Ten of Wands. Now we're into Swords, King of Swords. Okay, so one thing I wanted to mention to you all, you may see this here, and I think what happened was when the deck was bound tight with that little plastic band, it was pressed, it caused the deck, and with the guidebook, because let me tell you, that with the guidebook and the deck in the box, they were in here tight, which I am grateful for. That means the cards aren't sliding around, but then it ended up pressing hard against something on the inside, causing this mark. You can probably even see it. Maybe you can't see it on this side. You can kind of see it here, but you certainly can see it on this. I, again, don't mind it, but I know, I want to be fully transparent about it, and also for the publisher just to be mindful that that's happening, but otherwise it's not bothering me. It's still a very much useful deck and functional, so just thought I would mention that. Here's the Queen of Swords. Here's the Knight of Swords. And it didn't happen with all the cards, so that's a great thing. But it did happen with some. There's like a crease here, but you can't really see it on film, and that's good. So if you're doing, taking pictures of the cards, you won't really see that. And maybe it's just my deck that happened, and that happens too. Ace of Swords. Beautiful Two of Swords. Three of Swords. Oh, look at this pretty Four of Swords. I love that. She's getting her rest. I like that. Much needed self-time. Money, rest after hard work, burnout. Yes, definitely can represent burnout. A need for rest. Five of Swords. Six of Swords is another one I'm always, you know, checking out and seeing if it works for me in a deck. It's a couple here, you know, got their arms around one another as they move forward. Here's the Seven of Swords. Eight of Swords. Nine of Swords. Ten of Swords. You can again see that line here on the Ten of Swords. Oh, I like this key meaning. Strain from caring for others, money, feel under pressure and suspicious. For me, I think of backstabbing or a terrible ending. I mean, it's not always a terrible ending. Sometimes when the Ten of Swords comes up, it's quite a welcome sight because it's like, oh, we've been going through some things. You've been mentally taxing me for a long time, and now we've come to an end. It could represent like a divorce, and what's on the other side is a new beginning, right? And with that Ten of Swords. Now we're going to the Pentacles. Here's the King of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, you can see, actually, let me show you. You can see the cards here too with that weird edging. So yeah, it could just be my deck. Knight of Pentacles. It's not going to stop me from using it, I'll tell you that. Page of Pentacles. Focus. She's pretty. Ace of Pentacles. Isn't this sweet? I love this Ace of Pentacles. Here is the Two of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. I really enjoy this Five of Pentacles. I saw it on another video and I was like, oh yes, I love that. You've got the stained glass window here and the light emitting from, it looks like a church or just a home with a fancy window, right? And these two people out, you know, on the outs, if you will, unable to see that if they just, you know, walk towards the door and maybe enter, they won't be on the outs. You know, this could be a temporary station in their life if they just turn around. I really appreciate that. All right, Six of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Beautiful Eight of Pentacles. Oh, gorgeous Nine of Pentacles. Oh, I love the love meaning, keyword, content with or without a partner. Yes, yes, yes. Money, acquire property, profit, or retirement. You know, I'm like thinking someone who's very financially well-to-do, earned their wealth on their own accord, you know, with their own abilities, and yeah, I like that. Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so we've gone through all the cards. Now we're going to discuss for a little bit about the guidebook. So I'm going to share that with you all. And before we do that, let me just kind of show you how it shuffles, so you can kind of, they're not that slippery. I'm just at a weird angle as I'm recording this. I didn't mean to overhand or shuffle, to be honest. because I was gonna do like a quick shorts video or maybe something for my Instagram, but that's okay. I can put it back in order. It's not a big deal. So I'm still getting it ready to produce some jumpers. Okay, still getting, I have to break in my decks for jumpers. Let me try once more to it's one of the easiest shiffer decks I've been able to shuffle. I will say that, you know. Shiffer and I have had our differences when it comes to ruffle shuffling, so I don't know. I think, I know some people are not going to be pleased with how thin the cards are, but they're not terribly thin, by the way. I've seen some really thin stock before, and this ain't it. Okay, we're going to just leave those. We got a major Seven of Swords and Page of Cups. We're going to first go to the Guidebook and go to those different cards so you can kind of get a flavor of what she writes. And then I'm going to go to some parts in the Guidebook that I want to share with you, and the reason why I highly recommend this deck because of this Guidebook. I am that one that appreciates a really, really, really good guidebook. And I've been known to buy decks because of their guidebooks. I've that one. Okay, Judgment. She has a keyword section here. Okay. Keywords for love are happy relationship with bright future, and for money, period of prosperity. Oh wait, my apologies. That's not the keywords for that. That's for the sun. It looks like, I just see here, okay. You've got the moon text, and then over here is the moon keyword. So just be mindful of that. Don't do what I just did. The keywords actually for the Judgment is here. Keywords for love are bring less judgment of self and others, and for money, choose a path that aligns with your talents. Okay. This is known as the Karma card, one of rejuvenation and healing. It has been my experience when reading about lost love that if the Judgment card shares time in your reading, the answer will be one of reunion and redemption. I also like to call it the rebirth or reconciliation card. And I love to talk about how it's a card of judgment, literally, or analyzing a situation. You know, reflecting as well. Let's see, I'm just going to read excerpts here. Judgment says you reap what you've sown, and all good actions spent in your relationship have accrued. The outcome will be in your favor. It is a time of healing and an awakening of self-realization, a rebirth, and with that, make the necessary adjustment to express who you truly are. The name of this card may give the impression that you are being judged, but it points more toward benefiting from your past work. No one outside of yourself is judging you. The Judgment card helps you back up far enough from any situation to see the perfection in it. It is the moment you realize that you are fine with or without a partner, since you know there are many souls attending you and steering you toward your divine path. Judgment asks you to look at your choices and life situation to determine what you will keep and what you don't want to, or what you don't want to live with anymore. I like that. Seven of Swords. I'm not going to read all of it for time's sake, because I do have some things I want to share with you before we wrap up the video. Okay, here we go. And here, you'll notice with the N, and I also associate no with the Seven of Swords. We have here, and look, she has no on this Page of Cups, but I actually associate yes to the Page of Cups. Okay, so we have, and now we move back into a bit of trouble. This 7 informs us that there is a situation that needs to be handled with care. When this card is coupled with a few other cards, namely the Suit of Pentacles, where money and possessions are involved, it could be a sign of dishonesty or even theft. Check your pockets to make sure your belongings, investments, and holdings are safe. I could think of many different scenarios in love and life and money, because it could also mean like strategy. It can also mean infidelity, putting your own needs above that of others, taking what's yours, reclaiming what's yours. Okay. And I liked what she says here. When this card appears in a love reading, the message is to seek compromise and use diplomacy. When it shows up in a money reading, it warns against moving forward. That risk is high on a deal or project. Take a break and recheck things to ensure smooth roads ahead. At the Page of Cups. Page of Cups. Where's the cups? I think they have the courts in a separate section. They do. Okay. This card represents a child who is curious about the world and is happy exploring and researching their particular interests. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. Forgive me. I'm trying to find the Page of Cups. Oh, there we go. It is a child, I'm sure. There we go. This card symbolizes a soft-spoken child who can be extremely sensitive and has poor boundaries. These children are very creative if they are lucky enough to be in a supportive family. And some keywords for love are simply timid love, and for money, keywords are new creative venture. I'm not going to read for time's sake all of the text, but it's nice and juicy and helpful information. Now, let's talk about this guidebook and some parts that I want to make sure that I mention. Check out this table of contents, and what's cool is what makes this deck unique. It has easy yes/no answers. It talks about timing, how to use this deck. Okay, and I love this section. Part 2 is what's in a number. Okay, this is your basics of numerology, the aces through tens. Thought that was cool and helpful. The suits with their elements and superpowers. That's super helpful. And so she goes into the various suits, starting at that point. And then the courts, let me see. Let's go here. The court cards. She gives some information here about the courts. Okay. And the queens. I like how she assigned ages. She has it where generally men over 40. If reading for older man, this is the kings. Queens are generally a woman over 40. Knights, men or women above 18 and below the age of 40. Pages are dependent children who can be either gender. So I really thought that was cool and interesting. Getting to know the family's personality, traits of each suit. Isn't that lovely? So I just love that. What else? The major arcana. She goes into that. How to give awesome readings. Okay. Pretty cool. Following your intuition in readings, super important information. I think super important. She's got some spreads here. She's got the Celtic cross, spreads and throws. 5-card yes or no. So that's interesting. She even gives a demonstration, okay, of that spread. a timing spread, and a handy dandy cheat sheet. Ace of Wands, she's got the letter N for no, although I associate yes to Ace of Wands. But again, this is a matter of personal preference for a reader. And then she's got the love and money keywords here. I love a cheat sheet. I always do. It's nice. You can have it kind of handy on the side on your table. Okay. And this is one of the favorite sections I wanted to talk to you all about. Serving the world. And I'm just going to read this part here. I mean, I might read other excerpts. We'll see. There are many different ways that you can give others great insight. I thought you would enjoy learning the ways you can work as a professional. To that end, I'm listing many of the different jobs I perform. You may see yourself serving the world with a career as a tarot specialist. And I just love what she had to say about hotline advisor, her success as a hotline advisor, right? She's an event psychic, a stage entertainer. I think that I relate with the hotline advisor, event psychic I've done, stage entertainer not really yet. Animal communication she talks about, which is interesting here. And then her final words. Just a special, special guidebook that has some nice little unexpected bits and tools in here. And I'm here for that. That's one of the things I like about red feather decks, is that they're usually going to come with a really nice guidebook. Even if it's small, it's packing a lot of good information and insights here. So before I let you go, I just want to make sure that I talked about everything that I needed to share with you. I mean, some of the final impressions I want to say is that I really loved how bright and beautiful and bold the colors and illustrations are. Yes, there's some little markings on the cards, but you know, I kind of beat up on my decks anyway, my workhorse decks, and I do anticipate trying to make this into one of my workhorse decks. So we'll see how it fares. And I'm happy to, if you ever come across this video or you come across it late, well after I've published it, and you have a question on how I'm getting along with it, feel free to leave a comment and ask me how I'm getting along with it. And share if you have in the comment section, if you have this deck, if you have any questions about this deck, let me know. A link will be in the description box on where you can get the deck. And I will see if the creator has a website that you can go to as well to learn more about this incredible deck. You can tell I'm loving it. Even if it wasn't sent to me for a review, I probably would have bought it. Okay, just so you know. And yeah, loving the lush and gorgeous imagery. I love it, love it, love it. So do me a favor, you all. I didn't ask in the beginning because I always forget, but please hit the like button on your way out. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. I have lots more videos coming your way, and I just would love it so much if you join the Abundant Life Tarot family. So this is your free way of supporting me over here. All right, you all, let me know what you think. Don't forget. Love you all. Take good care. Bye for now.